Hello, it's Richard Haggerty. A lot of smokers, I've noticed this over the years, a lot of smokers say to me, look, it feels like I'm losing a friend. It feels like I'm losing my best friend to, when I'm quitting smoking. Like the thought of leaving cigarettes behind, it's like this, it's this crutch. And they'll consistently use this metaphor of my friend, my only friend, my best friend. Um, Smoking's always been there for me. It's a dependable ally. And this is really important because when that is the predominant metaphor and feeling and internal experience that you're having, smoking is going to be very hard to quit. I mean, think about it. If you think about the people you love, or even just imagine somebody who you love really, loads, the idea of never seeing them again or never spending any time with them, that's going to be hard. And that's why it's difficult to quit. Stopping smoking does depend a lot on the metaphor that you use. People will use metaphors like it's a battle, but also, a battle to quit. But if you're using a metaphor like smoking is my best friend, and if it feels like your own friend, like your best friend, your bestie, your BFF, if that's what smoking feels like, and it feels like you're losing that, you are going to be struggling with quitting. All right, you have to change that. You fundamentally have to change that association for you to become a non-smoker. All right, and there are a variety of ways to do that. But the first thing is really just to realize that you can't continue, you can't make that change, or you're not going to make it easily without a ton of pain and time if you keep that association. And that association is just internal. It is just a feeling, which means when you change that feeling, your relationship to smoking will change. To quit smoking, you want to change your relationship to the feelings, the triggers inside, the emotional responses that you get. It's these psychological and mental triggers that cause us to smoke. All right, these are in essence the needs on Maslow's hierarchy of needs and needs in other psychological systems that we feel aren't being met. Okay, and it's also that we're doing consciously. We do it very unconsciously. Okay, so in other words, these are emotional things that we feel we need, like wanting attention, like wanting love, like wanting connection, like wanting relief, like wanting a sense of safety, like wanting to experience calm. That's what we are trying to get. That's what people are trying to get. That's what you're trying to get if you're smoking, which is what needs to change. We can't overemphasize the importance of changing relationship to those internal triggers that are driving you to smoke. All right. Smoking is a choice. It is a choice whether you want to continue it or not. It's a choice whether you want to be a smoker or a non-smoker. It's a choice whether you want to see it as your friend or your only friend. But you're not going to necessarily realize that you have that choice until you get a little bit more educated, unless you can understand what happens when you use metaphors as fact, like smoking is my friend, I'm losing a friend. Unless you understand that, unless you understand that you're using that, you're not in a position to be able to start to change it. And you're only going to change it if you realize that what that is holding up is it's just symptomatic of the fact that friend is a symbol of those unfulfilled needs that smoking, you feel smoking is giving you, but it isn't really giving you them. Once you realize that smoking is shall we say, a false friend, it's maybe a symbol of the needs that you want to fulfill, but in order to get them, really, there's so much that's happening on the negative side that it vastly it deletes any of the benefits that you could have got from, say, being able to relax or being able to connect or making time for yourself. And so the trick is to start to have those needs fulfilled and find ways in which they are naturally and easily taken care of without the need for stopping smoking. Now, you can do that the hard way, consciously, over time, through sheer effort and willpower. In 3 to 6% of cases, that will be successful. Or you can go to a much more reliable way where you work directly with the subconscious. And that's where it's really helpful to have somebody guide you, somebody who's had a ton of experience going through, so to help you navigate that. So smoking is not a friend. Smoking is not a friend. It's never been a friend, and it won't ever be a friend to you but it can be a temporary psychological crutch. All right. And depending on where you're at in your life, there may be a number of things you have to handle first. Okay. It's not uncommon that, for instance, somebody who is perhaps having going through some terrible trauma in their life, or maybe has a drug dependency, deals with that first and then deals with the smoking. All right. It is possible totally to deal with the smoking and take care of that as well, and that will give benefits. I mean, I think the sooner the better. But the point is that you have to make that decision. You have to look at it and realize, okay, smoking feels like a friend, but it's not a friend. It used to feel like a friend, but really it's harming me. That's the mindset. Start to evaluate and start to take a moment to think about your own personal metaphor for smoking. When you think of smoking, smoking is it like a friend? Is it like a holiday? Is it like a moment in your life to relax? And then think about for a moment what it's like when you think about quitting smoking. When you think about quitting smoking, does it seem like a battle, a struggle, an uphill struggle, a mountain to climb? What's your metaphor? All right, because that gives you an idea of all the energy that's there contained within you, that is that's sort of going towards the overall expectation of what that journey is going to be like for you. And remember, expectations dictate results. It's really important to understand about expectations. Your expectations are the things that feel like they're facts to you, that feel like that's just the way life is in relation to certain areas. There'll be certain areas of your life where you think it's fairly straightforward. It could just be as simple as having a shower or going for a walk to the shop or doing a particular task. It's straightforward, you expect it to be simple, and by and large it is. Now, with smoking, if you've got a metaphor like smoking is my friend, or I feel like I'm losing a friend, then it plays into a set of overall expectations, which are kind of the feelings that we have that we misattribute as beliefs, or rather we misattribute those beliefs, which are kind of feelings, as facts. All right. And so it's important to change the overall feelings and expectations to quit. Trying to quit smoking without addressing the idea of it being a friend or a psychological crutch, and the needs that are implicitly must be in place that it's trying to fulfill, it's always going to fail. All right, because what's going to happen is all your attention, it's like a dam of needs and feelings, like a thirsty person, like a thirsty woman who's walked for days in the desert and then there's a cold drink over there. She's going to go towards it. If all your energy is like this is like a dam that you're trying to hold back of all the wanting love, appreciation, kindness, wanting relief from smoke, relief from boredom or dealing with anxiety, and you're kind of pushing that back to say, oh, I'm not going to do this smoking, but you're pushing back on that, all that kind of stuff of it feeling like a friend and feeling like it's there for you, you're going to struggle. To stop struggling to quit smoking requires an understanding that the needs that are being fulfilled inside you, or that you perceive are being fulfilled by smoking, are not really being fulfilled by smoking. And to realize that you can achieve those in other ways, okay? And that around that there will be a layer of judgments, beliefs, expectations that have been building up over a period of time that create a lot of, maybe should we say, anxiety, worry, tension, stress, uncertainty about how you're going to deal with it. That's where it's helpful to have a stop smoking expert. That's where you can have somebody who can come in and help you deal with that, nail that really, really quickly, efficiently, fast, deal with it at the subconscious level so you can stop being a smoker, you can become a non-smoker, you can leave it behind, never think about it again, and you can just quit smoking now.